known as the lifeline of ancient Egypt, the Nile.
The Nile River is help with farming. It brings water to dry desert land, let people grow crops like food and cotton. This water help all the animals too. Without the Nile, there would be no big farm in the area. Next, the Nile River give people water. It give clean water, drinking water to millions of homes. It's also full of fish, which people catch to eat. It feeds many families. Next, travel. The Nile River is big road for travel. People use the river to move on boats. They also use the boats to move goods like things they buy and sell from one town to another. It's helped building the big city a long time ago and still help trade today. Finally, the Nile River help making power. We have a big wall called dams on the river. Those dams make electricity. The dam also stopping big flood from hurting people and farm. Life and development. The Nile River provide fresh water in a really dry area. It make the farming possible. People can grow important crops like wheat and more. The river work as a national highway for both and transport. It's help trade, allowing good and idea to move easily. Town and city grow along the Nile River because it makes life easier. The river support the food supply, economy, and development for thousands of years.
The Nile is in northeastern Africa, passing through 11 African countries, including Uganda, South Sudan, and Egypt.
And we will speak about supporting wildlife and economic system. The Nile basin support diverse habitat from rainforest, savanna zone, wetland, and floodplain. Wildlife include the Nile crocodile, hippo, various reptile, fish species, waterbird, and wetland flora. The wetland of the Nile basin provide ecosystem service, water purification, flood control, drought mitigation, raw material for local livelihood, and the last, the river give life in otherwise arid or semi-arid region. Large part of Egypt and Sudan rely on the Nile water to sustain agriculture and settlement. For the Nile River in problem and challenge: pollution, wastewater from factory, agriculture, and community degrades water quantity. Overuse, the use of water, agriculture, and large population reduce the amount of water. Flooding and drought, the natural flood pattern change from the construction of dam, causing some area to be risk of flooding, some area lack of water. For climate change, weather effect, rainfall decrease, water level are unstable, temperature risk, the delta is invaded by seawater. Political issue, international conflicts. Many countries use the Nile River together, causing problem with the right to use water.
The Nile's three lifelines. First one, agricultural nourishment. Floods bring rich mud and fresh water. Crops grow near deserts, meeting food needs. Second, ecological shelter. Rivers and wetlands are home for crocodiles and hops. They drove hundreds of bird types, keeping biodiversity. Third, life and communication. supplies water to cities and factories. Rivers let cargo be transported cheaply, helping coastal area connect. Nile's key sports, function and culture. Functional notes: Cairo City built along the river, Aswan Hidden, flood control and power generation. Delta, Israel base, Alexandria shipping connection. Cultural notes: Luxor Temple, pyramids, river cruises.
Now, on another continent, we're looking at the Amazon River, called the mother stream of the earth.
The Amazon has the largest volume of water of any river in the world, and about 40% of all fresh water in South America ends up flowing into it. Even though it's huge, there are actually no bridges across the main river because the rainforest is so dense, and the basin has over 100 dams on a smaller river. It is also home to special animals like the pink Amazon River dolphin and the Dorado catfish that can travel very long distances. And one really interesting fact is that millions of years ago, the Amazon actually flowed in the opposite direction before tectonic plates shifted. Even though it's the second longest river in the world, it still crosses 4 countries like Peru, Colombia, Brazil, and part of Ecuador.
It lies in South America, originates in the Andes Mountains in Peru, where meltwater and rainfall form the river's headwaters, then flows eastward across the Amazon basin, the largest rainforest on the planet, before emptying into the Atlantic Ocean near northern Brazil. So now I'm going to talk about what it supports. The Amazon River is one of the most important ecosystems on the planet. It has the world's largest variety of freshwater species, which means thousands of different fish and animals rely on it to survive. The river system also supports wildlife all across the basin, from insects to dolphins to giant anacondas. It creates huge habitats like floodplains, swamps, and river channels. And even endangered species depend on those areas because the water level rises and falls throughout the years. New habitats form during floods, which helps increase biodiversity even more. When it comes to communities, the Amazon River is basically their lifeline. It's the main source of drinking water for millions of people living in the basin. They use it for everyday things like cooking, cleaning, and traveling between villages. The river also supports the livelihoods of many indigenous groups because they depend on it for fishing, gathering resources, and moving through the forest. Without the river, they are basically done for. You already know what a food web is from primary school, where everything is connected. So in the Amazon, communities fit into this through fishing. This depends on the river's natural rhythm. Seasonal floods create new feeding areas and increase the amount of food available, which helps keep the whole system stable. Some of the plants and fruits produced in this environment also end up as small-scale exotic exports, like acat and Brazil nuts, which support local communities. From the fun facts earlier, we know that Amazon has no bridges, so you can use the river as an emergency road. Because there aren't many highways in this region, people use it to transport goods, supplies, and even reach remote areas during emergencies, especially during the rainy season. There's also a dark side to this, but we're not going to be talking about that. For farming, the Amazon's seasonal floods are actually really useful. When the water rises and runs down, it leaves behind nutrient-rich soil. Farmers then use this fertile land to grow crops like mayonnaise, maize, bananas, and beans. These crops feed rural communities and also help support local economies. For power, parts of the Amazon basin are used to generate hydroelectricity. This electricity supplies cities and industries and support national energy grids in countries like Brazil and Peru. But it's also controversial because building dams can damage habitats, disrupt wildlife, and affect communities living along the river.
This slide is about why the Amazon River is so important for wildlife and the whole ecosystem. So first, the river acts as a refuge for aquatic species, so a lot of fish and other animals rely on it for a safe place to live and breed. And it also creates a migration path, so species can move around, find food, and reproduce. The Amazon also have a really diverse habitat, so it's not just one long river. There are flooded forests, deep river channels, and curved oxbow lakes. So each of these habitats support different kinds of animals, so the river ends up being home to an enormous variety of species. Another thing the river does is help maintain genetic diversity because animals can move freely along the river. different populations start to mix. So this is super important for like a healthy, strong species that can survive changes in the environment. This slide is about why the Amazon River is important, but in terms of natural resources and how humans use it. So first, the Amazon play a huge role in the environment because it helps filter and reprocess carbon dioxide. The river system and like the whole rainforest, they help absorb a large amount of CO2, which helps slow down climate change. So this slide is about the major challenges the Amazon River is dealing with right now. The first big problem is deforestation. So huge part of the rainforests are being cut down for things like cattle farm, soybean field, and mining site. When the tree disappear, the lands become drier and the soil kinda erodes, and the whole water cycle gets messed up because fewer trees are releasing moisture back into the air. That means less rainfall, which affects the river itself. Then there's pollution, especially from mining, because a lot of gold miners use mercury to separate the gold, and the mercury ends up washing into the river. And mercury is like super toxic, so it builds up in fish, harm aquatic animals, and can even affect local people who eat the fish or use the river water. It's like basically poison the whole food chain. Another challenge is climate change and extreme drought. The Amazon has always had like dry season, but now the droughts are way more intense and happens more often. When water level drops, the boats can't travel and animals can't migrate. Plants start to dry out and the river communities struggle to get water or food. There's also a big loss of biodiversity from overfishing. Some species are being caught faster than they can reproduce, and when habitats are damaged by deforestation or pollution, animals lose their homes. This makes certain species disappear, and once they're gone, the ecosystem becomes like unbalanced. So like all of these issues are kind of connected to each other and makes like each other kind of worse. So that's why like protecting the river is such a huge deal.
For the comparison, both the Amazon and the Nile are extremely important rivers. They provide water, support farming, help people travel, and boost tourism and local economies. But they also have big differences. The Nile is the longest river in the world and flows through northeastern Africa. It's basically the lifeline for farming in dry desert regions. The Amazon is a bit shorter but carries way more water. It's the biggest river by volume and flows through the rainforest in South America. Transport is also different because the Nile is used for cruises and city travel, while the Amazon is the main route for jungle communities that are quite far. Tourism also varies, since the Nile is famous for ancient history, while the Amazon is known for wildlife and rainforest adventures. They face different problems as well. The Nile deals with water conflicts between countries, while the Amazon struggles with deforestation and illegal mining.
And that's so sad because even though we don't realize it, we depend on these rivers more than we think, so we really can't afford to lose them.